Today in the Daily Review, we discuss a TBS show that started in 2016 and has a coming fourth season later this year on HBO Max. It's user recommended Search Party Season 1. Today, with me, Joe LaRocca. So somebody recommended this. I can't remember if it was Edward or JC or JQ or somebody. Definitely somebody from the stream when I was talking about Michael Showalter. I think that's when it came up. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to start a 3-season show. Screw you, No. I just was like, oh, I guess eventually I'll get to that. And I don't like the poster for it, which I know you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But have you really read a good book that had a bad cover? So anyway, eventually, yeah, so I decided to click on it once I realized the episodes are like 22 minutes. It's real. I thought they were like 48. I thought it was an hour-long show. And so I didn't really know what it was. And it's a comedy drama about a group of friends from college who are now like in their late 20s, and they live in Brooklyn, and they're kind of trying to figure out what to do with their lives, man, and one's like wants to be an actor, or two of them are actors, I guess, and one's a business guy, and then our lead, Aaliyah Shawkat, from many things, Green Room, a favorite of mine, and Arrested Development is where a lot of people know her from. And she is just kind of like an assistant for a rich lady. She doesn't, directionless. And then a friend from college, just a girl that they kind of knew very little of, but, whatever, she goes missing. And they all kind of co-opt this tragedy to give either to like promote themselves or give their lives meaning. And they get intrigued, but then Aaliyah Shawkat's character, who from now on I am going to call Dory, because that's her name, sees this missing girl, Chantal. And so it's like, because they've presumed her dead, and they like have a funeral and everything, and then Dory sees her, and it's like, so that's all. I'm not spoiling anything. That's like around episode 3. I won't spoil anything beyond that, because it's totally a mystery. The show's a mystery. It's the comedy drama mystery that we've been waiting for. That's like a hipster Brooklyn show. Yeah, it's really, really intriguing. I can't believe it. The acting is so good. The writing is really, really good. Which is kind of all you need. And then the story is like, I made a movie once that was about a missing girl, a short film, I'm interested in that idea, and then the paranoia and the stories that you kind of tell, especially when something's gone wrong. Paranoia, like, it builds and builds and builds. It's like a field that's all dry grass, and all it takes is like a little spark for it to go, and your imagination goes crazy until the point where you're like, you don't get answers from that, and it's usually Occam's razor, right? Which is the simplest thing is the sharpest thing. I don't remember what it is. Anyway, so yeah. Again, I'm not a fan of binge watching. I mean, I am a fan of it, but I don't think it's good culturally, and it's usually not good for the story, for it to get all crammed in you all at once. It's like eating one meal a day or something. It's like, no, you got to space it out, baby. So I did watch this entire season yesterday and today. Granted, they're 22-minute seasons, and there's 10 episodes per season, so it's not impossible, but they flow directly together too. It's just like a movie, there aren't like giant gaps in time between episodes, so it really, they don't have a long opening, which is always smart. Never have a long opening to your show. ever since like True Detective or something like that, it's like we got to have this thing with the dissolving images and the thing with the and oh, it's a face, but it's also the road, but it's drone shot, but it's birds, but and doing like layering and just layering it and doing different like what's that called? Not filters. I'm thinking of the exact word it's called in Premiere. I don't know, basically just doing different opacity layers, but like screen, doing screen. It's like, yeah, cool, dude, we got it. Stop copying that great show. The best opening of like the past decade is Breaking Bad, because it just went Breaking Bad. That's all. It's like we don't need a title sequence, because if you're gonna binge it, you want it to just be like. Search party. Yeah, I got it. We don't need like, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for me too. From MASH. Everybody gets turned off by the show MASH because that song is so depressing. But I think it is ironic. If they knew how depressing it actually was, it would intrigue them, because that's a Loudon Wainwright song that was in the movie, but for whatever reason they couldn't get the lyrics or did decide not to use the lyrics. But the song is called Suicide is Painless, and I think if the lyrics were on that song in the opening of MASH, more people who like in the 90s and 2000s would have been more intrigued by it. Because I talked to so many people and they're like, oh, you see that shot, the helicopters, and na, 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 na. You just go, ugh. And I know what they mean, because I remember first seeing that. It's like, ugh. It's like a car filled with smoke, just like, ugh. Just feels like not good. But if it was Loudon Wainwright going, suicide is painless, you would go, huh? Anyway, on the Blu-rays, or the DVDs, of MASH, you can turn the laugh track off on the whole show. It's worth the purchase. I didn't purchase it. I didn't purchase it, but I know it exists. Okay, Search Party. Back to this. Yeah, this is good, man. I recommend this. I feel like the channel is just like all I do is recommend stuff, but maybe that's fine. I don't have to just crap on things, right? What are some other stuff I want to talk about this? Yes. So Alia Shawkat's great, and then Jonathan Early, he's like a blonde, tall guy. He is very, very funny. You know what it is? It's what the show is that the characters are like kind of zany, but still in like the realm of reality. You know how in sitcoms they get kind of so cartoonish that it becomes like ungrounded, or they're just there to like set up jokes, like The Big Bang Theory or something. Those aren't like people, they're just like concepts of a character that are fairly one-dimensional, and they just like kind of ping pong jokes off of it. It's like a machine, But as we know, in reality, people are a wide spectrum of things, from saints to devils, all in the same person. So the show takes advantage of that, and why a lot of shows don't do that is because it makes the writing much more difficult. You got to keep everything together and make sure everything makes sense, and if you're just like have a character that's just like, oh, they're just the dumb character, then it's easy. But if you have the characters that go, oh, that's the dumb character, and then slowly you're like, no, that he's a good person, and then you go, oh, he's actually the one that's right, and then it's great. So the characters actually evolve. Someone trying to sell me this show is like, oh, it's a bunch of shallow hipsters trying to solve a crime. I would be like, fuck you, I would not want to watch it at all. But I don't know. It's intriguing. The drama is real, and the comedy is real. They do a good job of keeping it all together. Now, I've only watched the first season. Perhaps with a lot of shows, and that reason that I've talked about many times that I don't like about the one thing I don't like about the new show thing that we've had the past like 10, 15 years is if they just start dying. And then you have like a season that's like necrotic. You go, ugh, I love that show, except the end, you know. Like, I think the analogy I made was like, I like that sandwich. I ate 75% of that sandwich, and then the last part was dog. It was literally dog feces. But I ate it, you know. It wasn't that bad of a sandwich. No, that makes the sandwich as a whole bad. What? This analogy is falling to pieces. Anyway, there's like a deeper thing in this show about generational ennui, you know, directionlessness in a crumbling world, you know, where morals and all the pillars of society are coming apart, family and politics and the economy and race, and you've got, you know, there's nothing to kind of fall back on, and you go, what am I doing with my life? I think a lot of people, I think that's a thing that young people always have. You know, if you think it's a new thing, and then you watch The Graduate, and you go, oh yeah, even like in the 60s they felt that way, of like, when they're young, be like, oh, how do I want my life to be? I hope it's good. I hope I'm scared, and what do I do? And I'm just clinging for something. And then you go, okay, well then you see like Closely Watched Trains or something, or Closely Observed Trains is sometimes how it's translated, and you just keep going back. And you're like, oh yeah, this is a thing. This is, which is good. This is not a complaint about this show. That means it's a true, you know, thing about the human condition. And I can't believe I'm saying all this about a kind of a silly show that is produced by, or one of the producers is Michael Showalter from Stella. Guy, really, I think he's hysterical. He's in one scene this season, and his face, like the way he does his face, is so, oh man, he's the funniest dude. So yeah, and everybody gets jokes. You know, everybody is allowed to have jokes and drama in the show. It's not like, that's the funny guy, that's the drama guy, that's the gay guy, that's the straight guy. You know, I don't know. It's good. It's good. It's good. I recommend it to people. And the cool thing is that you can check out like a few episodes. I'd say like watch the first 3 episodes before you decide, and that's only a commitment of like an hour, you know. And then if you don't like it, just go, all right. But yeah, nobody spoil anything for me, because I know there's some people who are fans of this show, because some people recommended it to me. But my suspicion is that the next season will be good, and then the 3rd season will be okay, but starting to get bad, like starting to introduce some ideas that I think are stupid. And then I bet this newest 4th season I'll hate. That's just my prediction. I'm just putting that down on camera. But basically right now, I wish it just ended where it ended. I'm totally fine with how season 1 ended, even though there is like a bit of a cliffhanger. Not that's not spoiling anything. Like, you can see where the show could keep going, but it's just like, no, that's good. You made your statement. We get it. There's a cyclical thing that's all this good, and there's even like a little bit of a Twin Peaks vibe to it too, because it's people trying to solve a crime and they meet all these weird people. So I don't know. The show's is smart and savvy. I'm just looking at words I wrote down. Rosie Perez plays like a pretty nutty character for a few episodes, and there's this really great scene where they're at this party, and it's just like something that this guy goes, they're all, whatever, there's like a group of people talking, I'll set it up better, and Rosie Perez is screaming and yelling and stuff, and this other guy, Bert, busts into the group of friends and goes, there's cheese, you guys, like that, and puts out the cheese platter, and Rosie Perez goes, just slaps it. It's like it's such a good example of what the show does well, is it's like there can be like kind of a dramatic, actually like acting scene happening where people or things or information is being conveyed, and then you can burst in with a joke that makes sense, it's all been set up and everything, and have it all collide together, you know. And the show's also got you know, probably 25% social satire, you know, about social media. Yeah. Oh, so Ed, were you the one who recommended this to me? It does seem weird for TBS, I guess. But I don't know. I just don't know much about TV anymore. I haven't had TV in so long. I guess TBS is just Conan, right? And he's done. I mean, he's finished his thing. The end of his career has been kind of sad, huh? Because it was like, we'll go to this, and then we'll do it, and then, oh, now it's a 30-minute version of my show. And then it's like, I mean, great. He has been on TV for like 45 years, so I'm not crapping on him or whatever by any means. He's like my number one hero, maybe. And he's done it with dignity. But, like, he went from, you know, the Tonight Show all the way down to, like, a podcast. I think you were the one who, I can't remember what we were talking about when this was recommended to me, but I remember a few other people being like, yeah, I think you'd like it. So, not to steal your thunder or anything, Ed, by any means. So, it's about paranoia and boredom, and really, honestly, what it's about is about selfishness. You know, if you had to write a paper on this, it'd be about the selfishness of youth. And I don't think it's this particular generation's youth. I think it's probably all generations' youth, or at least in some sort of cycle, you know, every, 50 years or something, you get a generation that, because of the circumstances, is seemingly selfish, you know, even though, hey, aren't they all just trying to find a girl? Maybe they'll find something more. Maybe they'll find themselves. Anyway, I'll probably keep watching. I'm not going to binge it, the rest, I don't think. I think I'm going to take it a little bit slow, but we'll see what the streaming gods say. It is horrible weather on this Saturday out. It's like raining and snowing, and it doesn't look like the sun's going to come out, so we'll see. This is a new one. I wrote it 8 seconds ago. So I've been listening to tons and tons of Dylan, preparing for our February 1st show about Dylan. And I just want my drums to sound like that, like on his Nashville records or when he's with the band, like Levon Helm. And I realized that that's like not possible because that's like that's like naturalistic drumming. You're gonna, even if you sample it, it's just not the same thing. So, Levon Helm, is Levon still alive? If he is, give me a call. Oh, and that guy the guy who did drums on the Nashville albums, I wrote his name down. He's so good. He played with everybody. He started when he was like 14 with Chet Atkins, whatever. And he played on like every hit. He's like a session drummer, but he's so good. Listen to John Wesley Harding, the song. There's like at like a minute and 25 seconds, there's like he changes to like a swing beat. I don't know enough about drums to like no, but it's and then it goes, oh god, it's so good. Anyway, I'm sure that Dylan episode that we do is gonna be like 14 hours long, so should be fun. Yeah. Suicide is painless. Boop boop. All right, here we go. Yeah, Rufus Wainwright's great. He's got such a beautiful voice. Maybe the best version of Hallelujah. And they're all in The Aviator. They're that band in The Aviator. When the camera swoops down, we're at the Copacabana. That's Loudon Wainwright and Rufus and the whole musical family. I really should listen to more Fiona Apple. Talk to you tomorrow, guys. Oh, I think we're gonna do animated Lord of the Rings tomorrow. Psychedelic. Okay, peace.